Yo, yo, get up, nah I ain't a quitter. Toss me the ball, I'm a really big hitter. Big picture, I'm a straight killer. Rising the song to the highest bidder. Got juice, got gas, I'ma move fast. New shoes, new tracks, like who's that? I'm new, come back, better than last. Yeah, it's a new me, never gonna look back. Never gonna look back. Cause damn, I was built to last. You move slow and I move fast. And that's facts.
Welcome to the Chicago Sports Podcast. I'm your host, D. I'm with my man Annie up tonight, and we're waiting on our other brother, Bishop, to come on in
Ish.
with us. He should be with us shortly. You all to the show tonight. Thanks for joining us, wherever you're watching from. If you're new, please like and subscribe. I guarantee you'll love it here. We are Bears fans, speaking for Bears fans, speaking to Bears fans, for Bears fans,
Mm-hmm.
if that makes sense.
Absolutely.
There you
There
go.
he is. There he is.
What's up, brother?
What's going on, gentlemen? How y'all doing, man?
Doing well, bro.
Hey, all good, all good. It's real good now that you in the
Yes,
building,
sir.
man. How
Yes,
you doing,
sir.
Bishop?
I'm hanging in there, man. Had a little technical difficulty, but I'm here.
Yeah,
It
yeah.
happens. It happens. Andy up, what's up,
Man,
bro? How you feeling?
I'm feeling good, bro. My B day tomorrow, man. You know, I'm on here with my
Oh
Oh,
man,
okay. I know.
I'm
I
on
know
here
a
with the
happy,
couple people's
guys.
man.
birthday tomorrow. One of my fellas, man, like my brother, man. We've been tight for over 50 years, man.
Yeah,
His birthday tomorrow.
He a Gemini. He a solid guy. I vouch for him.
Oh,
Yeah,
y'all
my
something
oldest
else,
daughter,
man. That's all I'm gonna say.
Let's get
my
it.
oldest daughter, Gemini.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, but y'all are something else. I ain't gonna say no
Y'all
lie.
something else, man. That's all I'm gonna say.
Yeah, yeah. So what's up, fellas? What we got on the docket tonight?
Man,
It
looky
looks.
here. Look like we got the same thing that's been going on and everybody been wishing for, man, which is a left tackle battle.
Mm-hmm.
Oh yeah. Yes indeed. Yes indeed. Listen, man. Iron sharpens iron. You know what I'm saying? Competition should bring the best out of
Yeah, yeah.
everybody.
That's what they say.
Yeah, that's what they say. Hopefully it can be proven, you know what I'm saying? Not just doing these OTAs, but throughout the season. Hopefully we can prove it.
Well,
But I
That.
like the fact that there's a position battle, and I don't think that's the only position there should be position battles at. But let's talk about the left
and I
tackle
think there's
position.
a
How you
lot
feel
of.
about it?
I think there's quite a few position battles going on. But it seems
Yeah.
that everybody wants to really talk about this left tackle.
Yeah, it's the easy thing to do, ain't
Well, let's talk
Yeah, I
about
guess
it. Dude been
Braxton he didn't go get no BBL during the off season, so
it?
Look, man.
Hey
Hey, I'm
man.
gonna say this, fellas. I don't think no other position was written in stone. Most positions, of course, Caleb, but most of those positions, yeah. And that's what I want to see because we could have had some hidden gems like Amegadjie, bro. Like, of course, he got
Yeah,
thrown in the fire out there, of course. But I know we're gonna get to that. But I'm just saying, like, a lot of people down in that dude. Those was live rounds that dude was filling out there, bro. Like, didn't I know?
absolutely.
So we might have some hidden gems that these real coaches can identify. So I'm ecstatic.
Yeah, let's get into it, man. Let's, you know what I'm saying? We
Hmm.
kind of we throwing some jabs at it. Let's go and get up
Yeah,
in there, man.
yeah, yeah.
And let's talk about it, man. Okay. We got Braxton Jones. He looks like the lead dog right now. Uh and you got two guys in waiting. That's Trapilo. Did I say his name correctly?
You're right, Trapilo. You're right.
And I'm a Gaji. But the main battle, who do you guys think that main battle is against? We know Braxton Jones is the number one.
Hmm.
But who is this real competition? Is it the rookie that we just drafted, or is it the guy that was drafted the year before waiting in the wings?
What you think, Bishop? I'll take the back burner on this one.
well, I'm me personally. It seems like all eyes is on the rookie.
Yeah.
It seems like all eyes are on the rookie. Um, and I'm assuming because he's the youngest of the three at this moment, and probably in terms of live ammunition or live rounds, he's taken some, both on at left tackle and right tackle while in college. Of course, we
Mm-hmm.
have a second year guy that took some live rounds in the NFL himself last year. So of course, you have to take those live rounds. You can't hold you gotta, they gotta count for something. But
Yeah.
I really think what they're doing is just really setting the table up to see who gonna get that last leg of that last turkey leg between the three.
Yeah.
So who wanted
Yeah.
more, you know what I'm saying?
Hmm.
Braxton, this is the first time that Braxton can honestly say that he's had some real competition going into training camp at this position. So we're going to see exactly what Braxton Jones are we going to get now. You know, one is first of all, is he healthy, and more importantly, if he is healthy, can he take what's going to come with that position now? We got some real. It seems that we got some real football coaches waiting to do some real evaluating to determine who's going to actually be, you know, that blind who gonna hold that blind spot. So we're gonna see. I'm interested to see. Me personally, I'm not gonna count out on Braxton, but I am curious to see is but I am curious to see what this competition, what it brings.
Okay. Yeah. Mhm. Well, personally, I feel like Amagaji is going to get a heck of a look, and is getting a heck of a look after what Roushar came out and said. Like he's raving
Mhm.
about this guy's core and his lower body and all that, and this dude, his resume speaks for itself. We got to go into all of that, and like he seems to
Right.
be impressed. And those live rounds from the league, I think he, judging
They
from the
count.
circumstance, yeah, in those circumstances that our organization were in last year, he like, man, with all of
Hmm.
this going on, who would have, And then I mean, bro, we had a used car salesman as an O line coach, bro, like, you know what I mean. So even if that guy was ready, like, you're not getting coached up for real, like. So I think Trapilo is getting the most, notoriety right now because he a new face. He says all the right things. They says he's super intelligent. He a big guy. You know what I mean? And did well in
Hmm.
college. But I think after reading those reports on how Roushar felt about the second year guy, or soon to be second year guy, I don't know, man. It might be a little different. So you know, I I I think Amagaji is somebody to look at right now, and like I just saw the chat, Trapilo can learn both and depth. All the good teams have great depth, so that's how I feel about it.
Okay. Yeah. Shout out to the guys and girls that's in the chat. Appreciate you guys, and we do
Always.
want to know. We do want to know what you guys think. So keep the chat coming. We with you, and we will recognize you. As we get time throughout the show. Um, let's talk about. Well, I want to talk about Amagaji. The word on Amagaji, I haven't heard a lot of things knocking his ability. Only thing I've heard is that he was injured
Hmm.
and that he didn't have enough time last year to prepare
Yeah,
to for the things that he was put up
yeah,
against. Like we didn't hear any negative things about his ability. Those are the things we heard.
yeah.
He didn't have training camp. He was hurt here. He wasn't there for this. He wasn't there for that. But all of a sudden, on primetime television on the road, he's gonna start left tackle against one of the best defenses in the
Right,
league.
facts. That happened.
Right. So that's him in a nutshell, and I hope he gets every opportunity. I hope he's healthy so he can take advantage of every opportunity that's presented to him. And
Look like my
as
man
far
there
as Trapillo,
had a little technical difficulty.
who me?
You good? You back?
Yeah, I'm good.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm good. Yeah. As far as Trapillo, I think he's the new guy, like you said, Bishop. He's the new guy. We haven't seen him make mistakes in live action yet to really jump on him. Like they jumped on the other guys.
Mm-hmm.
We
Right.
seen the other guys make mistakes in live action.
Mm-hmm.
Um, so everybody loves the new guy.
Right.
Everybody loves the new guy.
Absolutely.
So I see where the intrigue is with Trapilo. Now let's get back to Braxton Jones. Okay, Braxton Jones' main issue. What you guys said was the main issue? The bull rush.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Everybody knew what to do. Everybody knew what to do against that guy.
Okay, now what I've seen with Braxton Jones, and I'm not an apologist.
Mm-hmm.
If we can improve this position, whoever the guy is to improve this position, I'm down with it.
Yeah.
Right? But how much of his struggles was due to the fact that we sucked everywhere else on the line, as far as the interior is concerned? No, mainly the center.
Mm-hmm.
How much of his success or his failures were due to that? Because the offensive line, the center and the O line, the center of the O line and the QB has a responsibility to recognize where the blitz is coming from, call out the hots and all this other
Yeah.
stuff, right?
Yeah.
Correct?
Yeah.
I listen, I don't care how good you are. If they send in more than you can block,
Good luck.
yeah, you know what I'm saying? Exactly. If they're sending more than you can block, then you're going to have problems.
Okay. So
So,
you want to know?
but we have seen them get trounced one on one at times. We have seen it, and again, I'm not an apologist, but I think more. I think what's going to improve this line more than anything is that we have a true veteran in the middle. We have a Hall of Famer next to him,
Mm-hmm.
and we have a former Pro Bowler next to on the other side of,
Yeah.
of the center,
Yeah.
which is going to help both of our young tackles.
Mm-hmm.
You know, but again, regardless of who's at that left tackle position, and how hard, regardless of how hard or how tough they're being coached, I want the best guy there.
Yeah. Period. Period.
That's it for me when it comes down to it. I want the best guy.
The line was terrible in its entirety last year. Let's not even hold the punches. And like I say, I've said it in a previous show, bro. I've seen Braxton show up. Like I've seen him do things against guys. Like, man, dude, he only touched Caleb Jersey one time this game. Of course, consistency was one of the issues. And let's be honest, we can go back to the coaching. Like let's say if you like Amegadjie, Braxton ain't even been able to show you nothing. So who knows how you might feel about this dude when he get out there and can move around. And I'm not whatever, but so if you like Trapilo, who's a rookie, and this guy went up against some of the best already. I'm talking about Braxton. He didn't went up against some of the best already. So if you like the traits and the things and the makeup of these guys here, who says you won't be head over heels for Braxton once he pops out of there after his ankle gets to go for the ankle. So I don't know, man. It's just like they got to do a heck of an evaluation with these guys because they weren't coached well at all. So
Right.
that's a job within a job. You know what I mean? Like it's damn near ground zero. Those dudes was laughable, most of them. We had a couple solid guys, but whatever. That's old news. But overall, our coaching staff was laughable. So I feel like Braxton might come out here and have the best year. It's a career. It's what is it? Contract year. Contract year. And all he keeps hearing about is a rookie and then a sophomore. That's all he keeps hearing about. So again, man, I feel like I hope he comes back as healthy as he can be, and I want to see the battle. If he wins it, I'll know. Whoever wins it, I'll know that's the guy. That's the best guy because this coaching staff don't feel like they playing around, bro.
Go for it, Bishop.
I look. It ain't not much more for me to follow up on that. In all honesty, this is the make it or break it year for Braxton. Braxton is not only playing for a new contract with us, but he's playing for a new contract with all 32 teams. He's auditioning.
Yeah, there you go. Yeah,
there you go.
I'm curious to see how he as well as Amegadjie both respond to some real coaching.
mm-hmm.
Some guys that's really gonna coach him up, and make sure that clean up the things that they were doing wrong, and then add some tools to their tool belt as well. Annie
Yeah.
Up is right. We don't really know exactly what either of them can do because you know they the coaching that they received last year
Woo, woo.
was remedial at best.
Man.
Oh, that's being nice.
I'm trying to be.
Hey man, hey, I hear you, man. I hear you.
It's
I hear you.
remedial at best. So without me going into any deeper, let's just see how these young men respond to this coaching. And from that, we'll whoever lines up on that offensive line, we know is going to be the best guys for the job
Yeah.
per this coaching
Yeah,
staff.
Yeah.
Period.
yeah. That's the level. I think that's the level of trust we have to have.
Mm-hmm.
And another thing I thought about when it comes down to this position battle, um, of course, we all want every position for the Bears to be great.
Yeah.
We want everybody that plays their specific position to be great. But does the left tackle have to be great for us to be for us to have a successful season?
Let me
Yeah.
put it like this: He's got to be I won't say he has to be great, but he has to be
Mm-hmm.
damn good. And the main thing is let your jersey get dirty before you let Caleb's get jersey. I
Yeah.
mean
For
jersey get
sure.
dirty. It's just
For
that
sure.
simple.
Absolutely.
If he can do that, then I mean whoever takes on that role, that's their main job is to keep that man upright and keep his jersey clean. So
True that.
that's what I'm looking to see from that left tackle position. Do they have to be an all pro? Not at all. Do
Mm-mm.
they have to be a pro bowler? Not really. But what I
Not really.
but I don't want to see no pressures coming from that side, and I don't want to see no sacks coming
Hmm.
from that side. Period.
I'm with Bishop on that one, man. I need you to take a. I'll take a holding, man. Whatever you got to do, because if it's a hold, it's a penalty, okay. But when you got to pick your dog up off the ground, man, and he trying to hold it in and he hurt,
Yeah.
bro. That hit a little different. So, what I'll
Yeah.
say to answer that question real quick and concise is he doesn't have to be a Pro Bowler. Don't got to be great. What he has to be is a lot more consistent. Because Braxton, I have 2 good games, and then a guy who undrafted playing for the Panthers or just spank him one game. You know what I mean? We can't have that, bro. Like I like his run. I like how he gets to the second level on the run. I love that. But
Hmm.
we need Caleb to know he has time, and I know Caleb might hold it every now and again, but we need him to feel comfortable back there.
Yeah.
And I think this is the year. Whoever is over there, like you said, so whoever's over there gonna be good this year.
Yeah. And how many times, like, I watched the game, then I watched the all 22s,
Yeah,
right?
yeah,
I watched a bunch of games in these all 22s of the Bears where it just doesn't look like the 5 guys are on the same
very
page
much so.
whatsoever. And that leads to ridiculous hits on the
Mm-hmm.
quarterback, man. Because somebody's coming free.
Yeah,
Somebody's coming free, and that free shot, especially from the backside, is no
yeah,
joke.
it changed the whole game.
Yeah, mentally, like your whole mental game is rocked. You know what I mean? And we've seen it. We've all seen that happen to the best.
Right.
You know, and like you guys have stated, coaching is gonna make the biggest difference. Now, those individuals that's competing for that left tackle spot, they understand the assignment.
For sure.
If they want to win the job, they gotta do what they gotta do. But when you have a situation where guys don't know who they should be blocking on particular assignments, that's a major issue. That's a major issue. So, I think things will get better, regardless of who's over there. If the
Yeah.
Bears gonna make a decision to reset the left tackle market and start Trapilo or Amegadjie, then so be it.
Yeah, absolutely.
You know, but we listen. We have to trust. We have to trust the guys that's seeing it every day,
Mm-hmm. There
right?
we go. That's
And these guys are not the same guys from last year.
yeah. Let's get that. Let's get that clear now.
Yeah, so we'll see,
It's
man.
gonna be interesting, man. That's all I can say. Well, it should be
Yeah.
interesting. You know,
Mm-hmm.
it should be very interesting. And I want to hear. I want to hear a lot about that battle
Mm-hmm.
throughout
Yeah.
OTAs and camp. I want to hear about it every day. I want to hear something new about it. You know, good, bad, and the ugly. I want to hear
Mm-hmm.
something. I want to hear something about
For
that left
sure.
tackle position. What's going on
For
there?
sure.
Yeah. We got over 600 watching, fellas.
Yeah.
You know,
Thank
we
you.
don't know where they watching from, but we darn sure
Tune in,
appreciate
y'all.
y'all watching.
Tune in.
Yes, we do.
Listen, please like and subscribe. You know, if you like what you're hearing, like and subscribe. You know, let us know what you think too in this chat.
For sure.
Shout out to everybody that's rocking with us in the chat. We rocking tonight, fellas. Bishop, talk to me, man.
So
I know you got some thoughts.
yeah, my thoughts is this. So we started out talking about this left tackle position, but
Mm-hmm.
let's talk
Mm-hmm.
about the totality, which is the offensive line. Um, Now that we know we have a solid center, we know that we have, both guards. We got, our guards and our guard position in order now on both sides.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
What do you think, or what are your expectations of this offensive line moving forward?
Mm. You got something on the mind, any
Of
up? I'll
course. You
let you go
you know
first.
you know
Go
I
for
do, bro.
go for it,
Hey
man.
man, I told y'all before, bro. I think these guys are going to hit the ground running, man. I mean, I know as Bears fans, it's preached to be cautiously optimistic. I understand that. I'm not on that train, but I do get
Mhm.
it because I've gone through these
Yeah.
battles with y'all. But this this is the difference right here. We always it's different. It's different. No, it's a different. This is the difference. Real coaching, solid coaching. We had a nice squad anyway, bro. And I don't know if is there's no more victories in football, but at least 3 or 4 games Caleb did the comeback or mounted the comeback, and coaching or defense or cocktail of the two ruined it. Like, bro, we could have won like 8, 9 games, bro, with the worst coaching staff. Now we got one of the best staffs to ever come through the Windy, bro. Like, that means something
Yeah.
to me. Just that to get over that notch, like I feel like we could have went and got what's the Cowboys McCarthy. I feel like we could. Nah, I'm glad we didn't. But I feel like we could have went and got McCarthy and got over a hump. Maybe not the hump, but a hump. We would have been a winning team. But now you go get one of the hottest, most crazy, intelligent offensive minds out here, and dude got some spunk to him too. On top of that, like, he don't bite his tongue, which we need that. Chicago. So man, bro, like, I think with this O line, as soon as they went out and started doing that early, I said, oh, okay. I said, oh, this it felt different just then. It not even with the whole unit assembled yet. So now we got a legend. We got one of the highest guys rated at his position. We got a guy who was successful, lost his way a little once he got tossed around in different position in Jonah. And then what's our right tackle? Darnell. He showed
Mhm.
hella promise. So yeah, man, I think they're gonna hit the ground running. I'm not gonna hold you, man.
Yeah. I put it to you like this, man. You feel a lot comfortable behind the driver's seat when you know where you're going,
Yep. Yep.
right? And I think this year, the coaching and the scheme, like we have an actual
Yeah,
direction.
direction. Yes. Facts.
I think guys understand the route that we're trying to go and where we want to take this thing
Yeah.
as far as a unit up front.
Facts.
I think they get it, and if they don't get it, during OTAs, they're gonna get it pounded through their head what the goal is,
Mm-hmm.
Mm.
what the objective is, what kind of identity we're gonna
Yeah.
have. that's what we struggled with last year.
You
Absolutely.
You
don't
know,
say.
that's what
You don't
led to
say.
the.
I thought
Most years.
I know there's somebody else on this panel who has been screaming that for the last year. You know, a
Yeah,
certain word, identity,
absolutely.
We never have an
Yeah,
identity.
you know. I
yeah,
mean, you know what is it going to be? You know, what is the identity of
yeah,
the team? Who are we? You
Yeah.
know, are we going to finally put to rest the monsters of the midway and take on a new persona? You know, one that fits this modern era of football,
Hmm.
you know, but more importantly, this particular team with um, this set of coaches.
Mm-hmm.
If you think about the assembly of these coaches, each has a personality of their own, to
Yeah.
say the least.
Yeah.
You know, so you know something that I know I recognized, and it actually was brought up in the chat, and I'm glad that it was brought up in the chat, which is the difference between Ben Johnson and Flus. More, you know, how they are at the podium when they're addressing the media. You know,
Mm-hmm.
when they're talking about certain things, injuries per se. You
Yeah.
know, excuse me, where Flus tried to dodge talking about injuries like he was trying to dodge a cold or the flu. You know, where Ben
Mm-hmm.
Johnson, just seems to he's gonna address whatever needs
Attack
to
your
be
head on.
addressed and keep it moving. You know, so
Yeah.
I really, I noticed, I recognize that. But what I also recognize is it seems like all the coaches, those who've had a chance to get in, to the podium and in front of the microphone, all seem to be singing the same tune in terms of uh, discipline being necessary and important, accountability. Everybody's saying the same words, singing the same song, which means it seems like everybody seems to be in lock and step. You know, so for me, um, I'm excited to see what comes of this off, not just the offensive line, but the defensive line, all phases, because of the
Mm-hmm.
coaches that's in place. If you think about it, Coach Hightower had to had really put some good quality film together for him to be retained. If you think about it, he's the only coach from the previous regime that was retained. Everybody else has gone bye-bye. Which,
Mm-hmm.
yes,
with that
sir.
being said, must mean that Coach Hightower know what he's doing with it when it comes to special teams. So that was one area that Ben Johnson didn't have to focus on, and must
Yeah.
have took some admiration to it as well, having
Right.
faced it for the last 2 years.
Right. Absolutely. Good point.
Yeah, yeah, absolutely. Man, listen, Bishop, you knocking it
Yeah.
out the
Yeah.
park. Cause it's either that or Coach Hightower got some pictures, man. He got some pictures of somebody doing some things they ain't supposed to be doing. You know what I mean?
I don't think that's
You
the
know what I
case,
mean?
though. That's definitely, I don't think, the case
Yeah.
with Coach Hightower. And what game was that when they pulled the okey doke on the was it on the punt? I believe it
Green
was.
Bay.
Was it?
Packers.
So right there,
Yeah.
that
That was Green
that was
Bay.
a job saver.
Yeah.
Look. Look.
I mean,
Let me.
shout out to Coach Hightower,
No, no,
man.
and I want to
Shout out
talk
to
more
him.
about Coach Hightower, because he just breed a point. So I feel like with Coach, he was the closest thing on our previous regime that was had the likeness of our current regime, if that makes sense. You know what I mean? Though he knew I think Ben Johnson and Ryan were ultra what's the word? Were like uh deliberate in the hirings. And I
Mm.
feel like he jumped off the screen because he was exactly what he may have been the only thing on our previous regime that was work, kind of what we're pushing now.
You mean
He
far as
he spoke that
accountability
language.
and things of that nature?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, type of thing. So it makes sense, man. And like if you look at the coaching, the hires, man, I didn't know all of them, but I knew the majority of the guys we hired. And it's the one common denominator is holding guys accountable and not trying to be like besties with them. Yeah, we can crack 100 jokes. What you do this weekend, bro? How's the wife? That's fine. But I mean,
Right?
as far as like getting in those guys, get on those guys' tail, Hightower
Mm-hmm.
seemingly was the only one that, I felt like was that type of guy.
Hmm.
And you could just tell speaking to the media all last year, like, no, don't get you don't I don't praise him too much. I don't down him too, like, dude, he sounds exactly like these dudes sound so far. So that was a good point, Bishop.
And if you think about it, let's think about. I mean, let's go back to last. I mean, we're going back to last year because we kind of have to. You got to look at the past. You know what I'm saying, to kind of help you navigate through the
Yeah.
future. Sometime, um, the special teams unit might have been our most consistent unit.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, of course, you're gonna have missed
Yeah.
kicks. You know what I mean, but just all in all, as far as stable,
Yeah.
the special team unit was the most stable.
Yeah, you're
I
right.
give you that. Yeah.
I mean, that's another reason, and it's another reason. That's another reason to tip your hat off to Coach Hightower. And it's also another reason to retain him.
Yeah,
Because last year was effed up,
it was,
man.
bro.
That was a debacle, man. That was terrible. For us to have never fired a head coach in the middle of the
Mm-hmm.
season, to lose the head coach and the OC
And our
in
DC
a
earlier
matter
that year.
in a matter of weeks. Yes, that's
We
tumultuous,
was in the
man. It's
NFL.
hardcore.
We were in the NFL twilight zone. D nice.
Yeah, or the NFL's comedic stage.
Ugh.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And I'm tired. I'm really tired of us being the joke of the league, man.
Yeah,
Facts.
me
You
too.
know, yeah. I think that has to. We have to end that,
Yeah.
bro. We have to stand on business and get busy. And I like what I'm hearing from the OTAs that ain't nothing sliding.
No.
Coaches are not letting nothing slide. They're in tune to every detail. Every player is being held accountable if his shoe is not tied.
Yeah.
You know what I
Yeah.
mean? And that's kind of that's kind of the thing we gotta have. We gotta run the ship like
You're
that.
right, bro.
Because everybody was resting on laurels the start of last year of what they thought we were going to be,
Mm-hmm.
and it ended up one big time play from another team end up crashing our season.
Flashbacks.
So yeah, so we have to make sure the foundation is strong, bro, because last year it was a whole bunch of props on the stage
Yeah,
last
for
year,
sure.
man. And one thing about props, all it takes is a strong wind to blow it
Mm-hmm.
down, and that's exactly what happened. So this time we're just trying to. This time, with the new guys, we're just trying to make sure that foundation is strong.
Absolutely, man.
And what better place to start than up front?
Well, I
Yep.
think, I will say, it seems like they're definitely focusing and putting their focus in all the right areas with regard to paying attention to the both lines, O line, D line. You know, I'm just real again, like I said, I'm really excited to just see the camaraderie that's being demonstrated during practice as well. You don't didn't see much interaction between players and coaches like you see in you know this particular time around. And the fact that the head coach don't have a problem with getting on a particular player regardless if
Mm-hmm.
they earning high dollars or not. If you lined up wrong, you lined up wrong. And we're not going to start it from where you lined up. No, we're going to take it all the way to the huddle. Let-
Yeah.
let's get it right from the huddle, and then from there, let's get everything in order. So I like how he is really paying attention to the details. You know, and and,
Right
and
on.
and what a lot of people don't understand is the reason for practice is what help gets the muscle memory in order. So when game day comes, it's second nature.
Mm-hmm.
So that's why they
Yes,
run through
it is.
certain plays as often as they do, and go over different things because it's all about muscle memory. And now is the time. Correct all the mistakes now. You don't try to correct them the day of the game.
Mm-hmm.
So I like their
Yeah.
approach, man. I like the no nonsense approach to the practices. You know, whether they OTAs, whether they mini camps. You know, they're trying to. What I like is the fact that it seems that they're really trying to take full advantage of the amount of time that they have
Right now.
per session.
Mm-hmm.
Not saying, okay, well, we'll get to that tomorrow. We're enjoying the music right now out on the
Mm-hmm.
field. No, it seems like they're trying to really get to it, which is good. You know,
Right on.
That's
because we
Yeah, we
haven't
got
had that,
listen.
man. You know,
Not at all. We got like 970 watching, man.
Let's go,
970 people
y'all.
watching.
Turn it
thank
up.
y'all.
Hey,
Thank you so much. We
let's
really
get that
appreciate it.
thing to 1,000, y'all. Let's get that thing to 1,000. For you guys that's new, guys and girls that's new, that's checking us out tonight, please like and subscribe. The Chicago Sports Podcast is for y'all, man.
Mm-hmm.
We're fans just like
Yes,
y'all. We
yes,
just
yes.
here to speak our mind, share our thoughts, and we want you guys to do the same.
Yes, sir.
Um, OTAs and mini camps, and this time of the year especially, you're gonna see what guys are made of,
Mm-hmm.
man. You're gonna see the guys that can handle criticism. And I ain't talking about just the constructive kind.
Mm-hmm.
I'm talking about, we're gonna see who's the guys that can handle a coach really getting in their butt, man. Or another player really getting after them.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? This time of the year shows that.
But
That's
think
true.
about
You
this
know,
too, man. Normally, this time of the year, we hear more about who's not in camp or who's not
yeah,
there versus who is. We haven't heard. I
That's right.
haven't heard one name mentioned of somebody who hasn't been there outside of LB3, and that's because of a lower tissue. I mean, soft
Right.
tissue.
mm-hmm,
But other than that, normally we talking about the likely suspects. Usually an offensive lineman or two who is out.
mm-hmm,
You know,
Mm-hmm.
a defensive lineman or two who is normally out. We're not hearing any of that this season,
yep,
That's
which
true.
again
not at
is
all.
a testament to the enthusiasm that within the
Yeah,
locker room for the coaches that we have assembled. So
Mm-hmm.
yeah, and I honestly think that there's a real chip on the shoulders of these vets, man. Because if you were a veteran that played on this team last year, and you were look to have a great season or look to have a certain level of production,
Mm-hmm.
and after the way the last season went, you shouldn't miss nothing.
right,
Right.
You should want to be at everything.
Yeah. Facts.
You know, if they're drawing plays on the chalkboard in February, you should be there.
Yeah.
You know what I
And
mean?
our guys knew
If
that
they
too,
just
D Nice. They knew because they showed
yeah,
up in droves, bro.
yeah. Like I think guys really feel like they owe the fans. They feel like they owe the city,
Yeah.
and that's the mentality we want, man. This there's no reason for anybody that wears a Chicago Bears uniform, polo, or headset to have a sense of entitlement.
Talk to him.
There's no reason for any of them. Even as successful as Ben Johnson was in Detroit,
Yeah.
that was
That was
Detroit, bro.
Detroit. But
yeah,
you
this
are
is
you
this is
you
new.
You
you don't have a
Yeah,
win
you
as a
you have
head
to.
coach,
Ben
bro.
Johnson has to come in here. Ben Johnson has to come in here and prove that he's a great coach.
Yeah.
Like we got the word of mouth,
Right.
and we know you're a great coordinator.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So the team is taking on the mindset of the coach because
Mm-hmm.
he knows he has to come in here and prove it.
Yeah.
He knows that.
And he talk a lot too, bro. So you know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
Yeah. It's a lot that come with
yeah,
that, bro.
yeah. Oh, we over 1,000, fellas.
Yeah.
10:36. Hey, let's keep climbing, baby.
Let's
Let's keep
go.
climbing. Thanks for you all checking us out. Shout out to the chat. Appreciate you guys for checking us out and sharing your thoughts. I know it seems like we may be ignoring you guys, but we not. We see
Yeah,
you,
we
man.
see
I
you.
promise
We
you.
see you for sure.
Yeah. So yeah, man. Listen. It's imperative that guys come in with the proper
Yeah.
mindset. No sense. Nobody at 5-12. Nobody should have a sense of
And
entitlement.
you know what? And just to like bring this all to I think when you know you got a coaching staff and a team that's about business every day and they hate to lose more than they like to win, like I'm hoping that our staff is, when you got a little knick-knack injury, you still gonna play hard as opposed to when you know your coach a clown or your coaching staff a clown and the guys that checked out and they showing you videos of what they traveling to after the last game and all of that. You know what I mean? Like, oh yeah, you know what? This little high ankle sprain that was healed 8 weeks ago just started bothering me again. I'm gonna check it out, coach. As opposed to, oh no, we gotta make the playoffs. I'm good. Take this thing up, bro. You know what I'm saying? When you know all the guys are on board, I just feel like that give you a little more fuel in your tank, man. And what was going on with us last year, we knew Caleb was gonna come out there and get sacked around. We knew we were gonna have issues running the ball. We knew our defense start after I forgot what week it was, but after that week, our defense was darn near non. It might have been after the Commanders game, but we knew
Yeah,
what was
because the
gonna
next
happen. We
year,
watched anyway, but we knew what was gonna go down. So a lot of dudes
the
check
next
out
game
then.
we were road graded.
Yeah, bro. So like I just, I feel like right now, of course it's very early, but I like what I'm hearing. I like the guys at the podium. I love listening to Ben talk to him because he don't care what you ask him. He ready. Those media dudes better get those those notepads ready because he answering all questions, bro, and I love it. You can't back him into no corner. You could back Flus into a corner. He started, yeah, we're not gonna talk about that. Getting attitudes and all that, bro. Like, answer these people. This a part of your job, bro. So anyway, but
Yeah.
yeah, man, that's just my thing. I'm excited, bro.
Nah, listen, man. We all should be, but we also should try to keep that thing, level.
Level
But
true
there's a
story.
lot to be
That's my
there's a
toughest
lot to
part.
be excited about.
That's my
There's a lot to
toughest.
be excited about. It's a whole lot to be excited about,
It
bro.
is, and we put a lot of focus on the offensive line, but let's not forget, man, that defensive line gonna be. I think that defensive line is gonna surprise some people, man.
I hope so.
Everybody been screaming. We need another DN. We need another DN. We may not get that one solid DN, that one that can just wreck shop this year.
Yeah.
So I know how many people would love to have Trey Hendrickson in a
Yeah,
Bears jersey. I mean, I would be one as well.
yeah.
But
Hmm.
me also knowing how Coach Da is, and not never really having the bookend type DNs to wreak havoc. I think he's going to get what he needs to out of DN by committee on that side of the line. But I think the person that I'm looking forward to really having a breakout year this year is Javon Dexter Sr.
Mm.
I think that young man is going to bring some notice to that three tech position that we've been so wanting to see some production from. I
Yeah.
think we're going to get it finally. And again, part of the reason for it is not just the extra work that Javon Dexter's been putting in the offseason,
He a
because
gym rat, bro, for
you
sure.
can look at him and tell that he's really been putting in the work. You can see it in his
Hmm.
body. You can see it. You can just look at him and tell. You can look at his demeanor when he speaks. You know, at the podium. But I also, again, gonna go back to what we the 5 letters, COACH, coach. I think the coaching. I think the coaching is
Yeah.
going to show, how this D line is going to respond and the havoc that
Hmm.
it's going to be causing. Because one thing about about Dennis Allen, him moving them pieces and stuff around, you're going to see him really put the speed and agility that defensive line has. You're going to see how he manipulates and uses that, man, against opposing offenses. I think people are going to be very, very surprised but excited of the type of defense that he's going to put on the field. And I think we got the right pieces in place as well.
Couldn't agree more, man.
Same.
Couldn't agree more.
Same here. Same here. I feel like
Yeah, man.
Javon was taking that step last year too, just in
He
case
was.
anybody went to sleep on that. Dude was taking that step last year. Then our season went to
The
crap
last 4 games, he was one of the solid people on that line,
for
man.
sure, for
Those
sure.
last
Even
four
when
games,
mm,
even when
so
we was getting our butts
yeah,
handed to us, man,
yeah.
he kept competing.
Javon was
You know,
turning up still, bro.
yeah.
Listen, we're gonna forever get smashed for not picking
Carter.
the kid out of Georgia, that went to the Eagles.
I,
We're gonna
it
forever.
won't be why. Well, he did win a ring already, huh?
I mean, but yeah, man. I mean
Javon just got to turn
that.
up, bro. We'll be all right, bro.
I mean, I think we're all right regardless. You know what I mean? Javon had a great year. He just did. He fell off just like the rest of the team did,
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
and I blame a lot of that on his youth. And I also blame it on the youth and a lot of the inexperience that we had up front. We
Yeah,
didn't
because he
have a
didn't have
super.
much help, bro. After because we know
I mean,
Sweat was hurt.
once Billings
Bi-
went down, man, that was
yeah, it changed
that hurt that really hurt
for sure, for sure. Sweat
the
was hurt. Billings went down.
yeah,
I don't
man.
even know
The whole complexity of that whole offensive line, man. I
Zach
mean,
Pickens
defensive
has
line
yet
rather
to
looked.
show up to a. Let me stop. Let me stop, man. I'm doing too much. I
He's
can't.
on the
Well,
bubble.
yeah, it may be a thing where he may not even make the roster, so they say. But you just never know, man. Like you don't know what drives
Yeah,
guys. Like
right.
we don't know what opportunities like Pickens really had to get his. Because I think coming into the season he was hurt as
Yeah,
well,
he
right?
was.
So yeah, but and I hate to say this, but we have to eliminate that.
Okay.
Like all these guys that's injured all the time, too often. These guys are always in street clothes, man. We gotta find them. We gotta find them guys another place to
Yeah,
play.
for sure. And there's plenty of people who want to. We got practice squad guys galore. Like, there's some gems in there somewhere. Go and get that spot up, bro. Sewell. I'm sick of seeing Sewell with pads on, bro. Like, Sewell hasn't done anything for us. Dominique Robinson next. He made a couple Sewell flashes last year, and I was proud of that. But Elijah Hicks, he was doing well for a couple weeks when bro went down. And Briscoe went down, and then he turned into the guy that that name makes my skin quiver, bro. Like I don't want Elijah Hicks ever to have to come in there. We should have a better guy than Elijah Hicks as a backup always. And I know I'm being
But
harsh, bro, but I watch every game, and then I go and watch more replays and stuff, bro. Like it's just certain people. You might have heart, you might be a leader, but you're not playing good football, sir.
yeah,
I know it's hard
I
to do that
mean,
when your whole team not playing well, but we should see some flashes here and there. That's all.
yeah, and it has to be someone that rises from the
There
ashes,
we
bro.
go. There we go, D
You
Nice.
know what I mean? But man, like I said early on in the show, look, competition should bring out the best of us all. You know what I'm saying? And especially like when you're on the football field, you playing for the name on the back of you playing for well you're working for the name on the back of your jersey, but you're playing for, the team. But what the work you put in is going to show on the field, and that's how you impact the team. By the work you put in the film room, on the grass, wherever however you do your business. But I want to give a shout out to the guys in the chat and the girls as well.
Thank y'all.
That's holding on and hollering at us. Shout out to Colossal, Tony Allens, B the Plumber, AC, Christo, Crooked, Dave, V Dog, Tracks, of course,
Tracks.
Vizzo Joe, James, Trump, Dewsby, and Montana Shy.
Appreciate y'all.
Yeah, appreciate all y'all. Appreciate all y'all for chiming in, sharing your thoughts, and just holding on with us tonight. Um, Listen, man, I get fired up every show we do,
Yeah.
man, and I'm normally cool and calm about Bears
I can't
because
tell.
they. Yeah, I know. But the closer we get, man, it's hard not to get
Yeah,
excited,
for
man,
sure.
because we really haven't been
No,
here.
we haven't. Period.
You know what I'm
Period.
saying? Like we haven't been here. You know, where we at, we hear about other teams being in this spot,
Mm-hmm.
from a personnel standpoint
Mm-hmm.
when it comes down to team to coaches and leaders and stuff like that. Like think of the squads that Andy Reid had, as far as his coaching staffs. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
And we ain't even touched on Bieniemy and
Yeah,
Randall L. And you know what I'm saying, and these other guys. So like listen, man, it's a lot to be excited
I
about.
agree.
But I think, I just hope health stays on our side.
Facts.
That's the key right there.
You know,
That's
that's
the
the
key.
key.
But I think
That's the
too, with
key.
that being said, moving forward, hopefully that we can build the depth up to where we have a plug and play where we don't have such a drop off from
Oh my
from
God.
from 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 first string to second string. That's been a
Yeah.
problem for us as well. Is when we do have to insert somebody else, the drop off in talent is so tremendous that
Oh my goodness.
it's like my
Yeah.
God, what I mean, did we really just add a person to the lineup that probably should be bagging groceries?
That's
Yeah.
a heck of a point, man. That depth, and that's what I felt like they did a great job with this offseason. And I hope they keep it up. Bring in a bunch of bodies. I mean, I
Yeah,
want to keep seeing those notifications on my phone, bro. Okay, we got another one, good, because our
Hmm.
depth was non-existent. And again, all of the great teams have solid depth. Of course, we know you're
Yeah.
not going to get a backup free safety who's going to come in and do does. Okay, Brisker was way more of a piece lost than I ever gave credit for. At the time, I was like, okay, well, and then it was like, yo, like dude was low key the heart and soul of the defense, bro. And he
yeah,
went
brother.
down, and we took a couple steps back. But then after the Commanders game, it was really over. And I keep going back to that Commanders game. You can tell I'm scarred. But seriously, man, after we lost Brisker, it was so different. And I mean, of course, you need that talent too. But on a leadership standpoint, just because you're not a starter, don't mean don't have leadership quality. So
Right.
I like how the Bears went and plucked the guys, man. It's not all about who jumps the highest, who runs the fastest. Who was it? Hippolyte. Again, that's one of my favorite guys. Hippolyte was the man over there, bro. Like that means something. And then he got the physical, the intangibles and the tangibles. Like, dude, gonna make some noise. I know he is. So yeah,
Well, I
man, that
mean,
that
for
that depth.
me, adding Hippolyte to me was a major upgrade to Sanborn, and I liked
Mm-hmm.
Sanborn,
Mm-hmm.
but when I realized whose defense this is and how he likes to use those linebackers,
Yeah.
especially that Sam linebacker, Hippolyte fits the mold
Yeah.
more than
Talk to him,
Yeah.
man. Talk to
Sanborn,
him.
man.
Talk
So
to him,
again,
man.
it
Yeah.
really comes down to we talk about players, but we got to talk about scheme
Yep.
and who fits the scheme
Yep.
better.
Yep.
Yeah, we
Yeah.
all gonna have favorite players come through here, but sometimes that favorite player may not necessarily fit the scheme. And
Yeah.
it's and as bad as it may feel, you have to part ways with certain players.
Yeah.
It's that
Yeah.
simple. We don't want
Absolutely.
to, but if they don't fit the scheme, they don't fit the scheme.
Yeah.
And
You wasting both of our times.
yeah,
Yours
and,
and
and
mine.
and they did Sanborn a favor because Sanborn's going
Yeah.
to land somewhere where he'll get a chance to really show off his talents and be a fit for that particular defense. But
Mm-hmm.
for this defense and how Coach Allen uses that Sam linebacker, Hippolyte is perfect for that position. Because get a lot of blitzing from that position. And that
Yeah.
position and that guy needs to be able to cover. Needs to be able to
Yeah.
get in. Need to be able to cover in open space. You
Yeah.
know, in tight open space in between the numbers. So
Yeah.
so who is he going to be facing oftentimes? Linebackers, running backs. Those that may use a fullback, H back or whatever. That's who you're
Right.
going to have. That's and that receiver coming across that that slot receiver. that's going to play in that middle of that field and try to come across that middle. You got to have
Yes,
somebody that
sir.
can get there quick
Yes, sir.
and lay some boom too.
Yes, sir.
So Sanborn was always good for being around the ball,
Mm-hmm.
but you know you need a guy that no matter what, whether he's in position, out of position, his speed
Mm-hmm.
and athletic ability can get him there
Yeah, get
sometimes
him.
when he may be a little bit out of position for
Right.
whatever
Mhm.
reason. So
Right. Yeah,
Yeah.
man.
so I know everybody's
Yeah,
been
man.
also, a lot of people been worried about the linebackers position. So when you mentioned Hippolyte, I had to jump in on that because I'm like,
Yeah.
that was a necessary pickup,
Yeah.
and,
Yeah.
and you can tell that was a DA pickup
Mm-hmm.
because if you know his scheme, you know how he uses his guys.
Yeah, he was a whole leader over there too, bro. I don't want people.
Yeah.
I know people weren't watching Maryland ball. It's a selected few in here that was watching Maryland ball. I wasn't, but he was a leader over there. Them guys, when he spoke, those guys listened. So
Oh
I
yeah.
like, it was a certain description that these dudes went out and
Hmm.
and, and, and got guys. Man, you gotta have some smarts about you. It's not all about the athletics. You gotta have some smarts. You gotta be able to pick up these things. You gotta be able to improvise, athleticism and high character. And again, man, if you got they direction, like D Nice said, direction, bro. And they had some direction, and I'm happy with it. I was over the top emotional at the when we first got Loveland and all that. Man, I sat down and chilled and simmered down and just watched the days after that and was like, I see what these guys doing. They got a plan. So hey man, that's all I ask for. That's all we can ask for at this point is have a plan and have some direction and let
Yeah.
the rest fall like it shall.
Yeah,
For
and
sure.
that was my feelings the same way. I told I mentioned that to D Nice. I said, man, bro, I said, you know, I know everybody wanted, the Bears to pick a certain somebody for that first pick.
Yeah, yeah.
But
Hmm.
when they brought in Loveland, I was like, and when I thought about it, like you said, I put my thinking cap on for a
Mm-hmm.
minute. I said, all right, I see what he doing.
Mm-hmm.
And I understood the pick from that point forward. And then as the
Yeah.
other picks started coming in, I understood it. And
Yeah.
I'm gonna tell you right now, you remember we had this conversation. That player that we picked in the seventh round is gonna be the steal of the draft.
The running back.
Remember I said that.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah. For sure you
Remember I
did.
said that. He's gonna be the steal of the draft. We're gonna be talking about a seventh round. We're gonna be talking about a seventh round pick that's making major contributions to a team, and that team is in the hunt for a playoff spot. And it's gonna be because of that player that's sharing carries with
Solid.
Mr. Swift.
Yeah.
Just
Yeah.
remember I said that.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think
No.
when you pick that late, I think where you land matters. It matters where you land matters, and when you picked in a draft,
And he couldn't
these
have
late
asked for a better place.
couldn't ask for a better position to be in. You've become a part of a young and hungry team with a lot to prove, and there's room for you here. You know, a lot of 7 round picks they come into situations with a whole bunch of uncertainty. They don't know if they're going to be able to play. They don't know if they're going to even make the team. As a 7th round pick or whatever. But um, he's coming to a position where he's come to a situation where it's like we've been waiting on a guy like this.
I'm gonna say
True.
this, man, and I'm gonna say this before we get off the air. Shame on all those other teams that passed on that young man, but I'm glad they did.
Yeah,
Thank you. Thank you.
That's all I'm
Thank
gonna
you.
say.
I'm with you.
Shame on them teams. If anybody got a list, that young man should have a list, and everybody should pay for passing on that young man.
And real quick, we got a few guys that got that chip or what you just alluded to, Bishop. Hippolyte, like I didn't even get an invite.
Mhm.
LB3, let's talk about it. Who we just say? I want to get his name.
Manangai,
Manon
Manangai,
guy,
Yeah,
Manon guy. You see, these guys are deliberate, man. They focus. Shout out to the scouts, bro. Shout out to the
yeah,
scouts, because I cannot wait to see these dudes carry that chip the size of a boulder on their shoulder into this league with this built up line and this offensive mind and these disciplined coaches. Bro, I told you, man, we hitting the ground running, man. I don't want to get into wins. When people ask me that, I kind of get a little frazzled. I don't want to get into dictating how many wins, but what I will tell you is the product on the field gonna speak for itself, dog, because of that coaching, man.
I'm gonna tell you one other player keep an eye out for. Keep your eye on Zay Frazier.
Yeah, that's my dog. That's my dog.
That was another one. That was another one. I'm surprised got passed but I'm glad they did.
Yeah.
Yeah, and this time of the year, man, we're gonna see, like I said before, you're gonna see what guys are made of. These late round picks with chips on it. Like I heard an interview with Frazier, and the way he spoke about wanting to be great. You know what I mean? Wanting to be a leader of the guys in rookie minicamp. So therefore, when he's ready to come into a situation in the OTAs, everybody that was in that rookie minicamp is abreast of what's happening. You know, as far as on that defensive end. You know, these are the things that money can't buy, bro. You know, you can have these guys out here with a whole lot of ability, but you know, if you lack that part of it, if you lack that hunger to be great, you're not gonna last long, man.
Yeah, that's a fact.
And the NFL stands for not for long, bro.
That's a fact.
You know, so it's good to see the Bears picking these high character guys, you know, that's going to come in on a mission to be successful and want everyone to be successful with them.
Yeah.
Now, even though, you know, as the saying goes, everybody can't go.
Yeah.
But listen, if you're able to bring along someone, you know, if everyone on the team, everyone has been acquired is able to bring along someone with them, you know, that's a lot of strength in those numbers, man.
Yeah, for sure. Absolutely.
But we're gonna see how this thing, you know what I'm saying, how this thing plays out as the weeks go on. You guys got anything else to add before we get up out of here?
Nah, brother, I think we covered it all.
Real quick, I just want to say I love the fact that all of these dudes get up there and say the same thing about these coaches and the vibe and how it feels at home, bro. Like that hit different, and somebody doing something right over there. So you won't get a bunch of millionaire guys who've been successful on different levels and stuff coming together just all synchronized saying the same thing. So I really love that, and bear down, man. That's all I got.
Right on.
Yes, sir. Bear down, everybody. Appreciate y'all coming out once
know
again,
it, man.
spending your Thursday evening, your Thursday night with us. We do appreciate it. Thank you so very much. Hit that like button for us on the way out. Make sure you share this content because, again, this content is because of you, is the reason why we do it. And if you haven't already done so, please subscribe and tell those that you share the content to please subscribe as well. But until the next time, y'all, the bishop going to tell you like it always is, bear down.
Yes, indeed. Yes, indeed. Yeah. And with that, we out of here. Oh, I'm sorry. Shout out to all 1,200 plus that checked us out tonight. Listen, each one of you guys, if you haven't already, please like and subscribe. I'm going to keep pushing that line to y'all because you guys are important. You guys help make this show. You know what I'm saying? We do this for y'all. You know what I mean? We could do it without y'all, but why? You know, we all under the same Bears umbrella. We want the same thing for this team.
Yeah.
You know, strength is in numbers, baby. You know what I'm saying? Let's everybody come together. We all Bears fans, and it's all love.
Yes,
and
sir.
And listen, I'm talking to the haters too, because I know it's a lot of y'all out there. You know, we in a pretty tough division, and they got fans too.
We in the toughest division, brother. We in the toughest division.
Yeah, and they got fans too. So listen, bring y'all banter to the chat. Keep it respectable. You know what I'm saying? We will respond. Trust me, we ain't ducking no smoke. You know what I mean? So listen, with that being said, listen, pleasure working with you guys tonight as always.
Always.
Shout out to Trax for giving us the opportunity. You know
Tracks.
what I'm saying? He's the man, of course. But peace up and bear down, ladies and gentlemen. And we gone.
We out.